North Carolina gets its second bye game in a row, coming off of a 15-point win against Radford. Dion, that game against Radford was ugly. We didn't even do a preview or a recap of it. It looked like a team that was figuring it out without their senior leader, without Seth Trimble, figuring out guard rotation, seeing who's going to step up. They played a lot of different lineups because Jaron Stevenson went out early with an injury, ended up returning, having a pretty good game. I will say, just for the haters out there, Carolina was up 23 when they took out their starters with 4 minutes left, and the bench just it was some of the worst basketball I've seen in a Tar Heel uniform. Trying not to harp on that though, it was just an ugly game all around. That was like, man, y'all look a little hungover from the Kansas game, and like you're also dealing with an injury to one of your better players. But luckily, Friday night, a chance to sort of right some of those wrongs with a really, really poor Central team coming to town. There's no other way to put it. This NC Central team is a far cry from the great units that Lavelle Moton trotted out in the 2010s that often had size and would rebound and defend. This is a team that just it really lacks that strength, that physicality in the front court. They had a close game against a D2 opponent earlier in the week. They've been blown out by NC State and App State already. Feels like it's shaping up for a highlight reel game for Carolina. It's the one where if you have low shooting percentages, you want to view this as an opportunity. Like let's get those up a little bit. Let's knock down our threes. Let's make our free throws. They missed a ton of free throws against Radford, and let's continue to get guys like Luca Bogots more comfortable in his starting role. Let's get someone like Derek Dixon a little more experience running the point when Kyan Evans sits. Maybe just maybe you could even coax a little bit of good production out of the backup bigs, whether it's Zayden High or Jaden Brown, James Brown, who have both struggled anytime they've seen the court this year. Dion, I'll turn it over to you first. What do you want to see out of the Tar Heels in this performance?
Um, Honestly, I feel pretty solidified on where Carolina's at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So like not a ton. I am interested, and I don't think if Carolina can answer this question though. I think Kansas has to. I'm not saying the Kansas game was like fluky. Maybe Kansas ain't that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think that's a Carolina question. I still think you could say Kansas ain't that good and Carolina played amazing and like that was a great Carolina performance. But like maybe there's a world we just all put too much stock in that game because it's Kansas and it's Darren Peterson. And in reality, it's like Kansas is just middle of the pack, Big 12 maybe.
They're a little stinky. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a Carolina problem though.
Yeah.
You did what you're supposed to do.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dion. I've had that same thought. I'm like, I just hope this win ages really nicely, even though I have question marks, especially with Darren Peterson appearing to do some sort of load management. I need him out there, boost those metrics.
Yeah. We can talk about that. I mean, what are we talking about?
Bill Self doing a lot of stuttering, a lot of stammering, talking about why he didn't play against Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
I mean,
These are
I get it. That's an NBA dude, so you know you're getting him ready for the next level.
when you're sitting.
Um, but like I don't know, man. Like it just feels like he doesn't play a lot of basketball. It
Yeah.
feels like he's good. He's good for 20 though. Though those first 20 minutes, special, special, special. We don't know what's gonna happen the second 20, and then he might have to sit the other game out if he played in the second half.
Did Carolina break Darren Peterson? Next on my column, but
No, because he like literally was playing like Eastern Kansas Junior College and would get a cramp midway through the first half and say, "Hey, I'm out the second half."
I'm done. But
Yeah.
there's 20 minutes. Enjoy the first 20.
Respectfully to Darren Peterson, this is not prolific anymore, man.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you ain't that prolific.
Yeah.
And prolific ain't even in Napa no more. They're a real school now. They moved. They go to class. You got to figure it out.
Do you think I don't want to get too much on a tangent. I'm just like this dude has just hooped what he wanted to for the better part of 3 years, which maybe we should have factored that into our eval more, but it probably won't affect him in the next level. Like I
What
just
in the
hope,
NBA?
yeah, he's gonna fit right.
Uh, okay, not a Kansas video, so we'll get back on track after this. If you can't make it through a 30 some odd game season,
Yeah.
oof.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good point, Dion. There's part of me that just wonders, is this like is there some I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions about the kid's character. Let's get back on track with
I
Carolina.
don't think it's character. I think it's
Yeah.
physical, like physical.
Oh yeah, you think it's
I
the
think
actual game shape.
yeah, like give
Mm.
him like some time, and I don't think this is an issue. Like I don't believe it's his character. I do believe everything they say about his work ethic. I just don't think he's like physically. Like I've said this before. Like we're putting a lot of workload on the freshmen right now because like Neo from Virginia Tech, my dog, by the way. My dog. That
Neo
might be a
sick.
second best player in the ACC. But like Neo and some of the guys, Steinbach, some of the other guys from Europe, come over and like they're physically ready. And this can be said for Caleb Wilson too, by the way. The Americans aren't in the same manner because they played high school basketball.
Yeah.
Respectfully to high school basketball. As a former high school athlete, a lot of people forget I was a high school athlete, but as a former high school athlete, like it ain't the same as Omer coming over from like the biggest league in Europe, dog.
Yeah. Right. Right.
It ain't the same.
However, speaking of freshmen, Caleb Wilson. Let's
Yeah.
transitioning back on topic.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think he's my favorite freshman in the country.
He's mine too. Welcome to the club. But Caleb, to me, he's coming off of like really his first quote unquote down game in a Carolina jersey. Still finished with 12 and 14, but dealt with foul trouble. Only played 22 minutes. I wonder if there's like a more concerted effort to get him going early to stay out of foul trouble. I mean, at the same time though, it's like he's proven what he's needed to prove
Yeah.
thus far in the season. I don't think this is a spot where you're like, oh, we gotta make sure Caleb gets his 20. Maybe it naturally happens just because Central doesn't have any size in the front court, and I don't think they have anyone who can remotely match his athleticism and box him out. I mean, Central has gotten out rebounded by double figures in every game they played so far, other than the D2 game. So that doesn't bode well for them in terms of just keeping him off the glass. But yeah, I wonder if there's just a little bit of an extra edge he plays with. Even there's not if there's not a concerted effort to let him cook, that you
What do
just
you
a few more like putbacks or motor or like high motor plays after just dealing with foul trouble against Radford.
what do you think his background is?
It's not us. I can tell you that much because Greg and Carter put him at the best as the best freshman in the country.
Yeah, so he's my favorite freshman in the country because well, first off, you asked the question and then he answered it and it was special. So like that obviously helped the fact that you asked it. But answer was special. I'm a research guy. So, well, now I'm a research guy as of November 13th. So I did a little research. He simply got the ball a lot in the McDonald's All-American game. And so I went I went back and looked at like the box score and then watched the highlights. It ain't Darren Peterson's fault he was 0-4 with two turnovers. And that's why I love him. So I love delusion. He went out there and stunk it up in the McDonald's All-American game and said, you know, that's Darren Peterson's fault. I got to get him back. He didn't give me the ball in an All-American game. And I love that. I love that. Blaming people for stuff you did wrong. Love that. Sign me up to do that every day of the week. I'm not a look in the mirror guy, unless I have to be. And it feels like he isn't either. And I love that for us.
This is incredible. This is how we get on the background by saying he blames others for his problems. I love you, Caleb. I'm glad there is a little delusion, though. We need that in our superstar. Beyond him, I'm looking across the board at just mainly the guard room right now. I think between Caleb and Henry, those guys are probably going to could combine for like 35 to 40 points more often than not, especially in a game like this where there's no one that can keep them off the glass. There's no one that can contest them at the rim. I really want to see the shooting get better. Carolina is shooting under 30% from three as a team right now. They just shot so poorly against Radford. They didn't shoot great against Kansas either until the second half where they just caught fire. I mean, they just missed a ton of open looks on their home gym in the first half against Kansas and really the whole game against Radford. And that to me is like this is a great opportunity just to gain a little confidence. Your guy Jonathan Powell half the time seems like the only one who can knock down an open corner three. And he always celebrates after doing it, which I love. Like, it doesn't matter who it's against. If he hits a corner three, he's doing some sort of celebration on his way back down the court.
As he
Can't make
should.
can't make his free throws inexplicably. Like missed two very short against Radford, where I'm like, my shooter, I need you to convert these. But Luca right now, only 5 makes on the season from beyond the arc. Want to see
Yeah, we
that.
didn't talk about him.
What I mean, he was really cold to start against Radford, but scored. I think he scored 18 in the second half.
You was comparing him to like Luca.
I know. I was very high on Luca Bogots. I still am. I still believe in him. Can we talk about his? He had 5 assists against Radford though. Ran
Yeah.
point for us in spurts.
Yeah, he's not very good.
I don't know if I go that far. I would say he's been slightly underwhelming so far.
Yeah, slightly underwhelming.
He has been underwhelming so far. You can take away the slightly. I still, but like when you watch his passing and even like his shot looks good, it just hasn't fallen yet.
Yeah.
He's gotten to the rim a little more than I expected. He had that sick lob he threw to Caleb. Come on, just be a little patient with my guy.
Look at that sick lob he threw to K. He had 18 shots, 19 points against Radford. It's slightly underwhelming. 11 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He's shooting 36% from the field, 26% from three.
Just wait on it.
Oh,
Soon.
trust me. You don't gotta worry about that. I'm waiting. I
This is
got
going to be the all right. You know what? Let me stick my neck out for Luca. This is the game where we get that viral six made three performance, and it quiets a lot of concerns.
can I ask an honest question? And
What's
I
up?
know you're a big fan of like whatever league he's in. I think like
The ABA, the Adriatic League.
yeah, them. Has he ever done that before?
Like, has he ever made six?
Six threes. Like, is that his bag?
Yeah, there was like several games in the ABA where he had like 29, and I think his. Hold on, let me. I don't have the stats in
I'm not
front of
saying
me.
he can't score, but is his bag like threes?
Yeah, that's his best skill set.
Really?
Yeah, which is why
And
it's
that
kind
so it doesn't feel problematic that he just doesn't make them?
of. I mean, he might be in a little slump right now.
Yeah, 5 of 19.
But like if you look at his stats last year in the ABA, he shot. Hold on, I'm working on it. He shot 30. He shot 40% from three on 5 attempts per game.
Okay, so he
Like
made 2 threes a game.
yeah, 2.1 made threes a game.
Okay.
So is that still underwhelming to you? Is his pedigree underwhelming, or is it just the whole experience? Is
I listen. I'm not saying the kid's like not going to be a great college player. He's not Luca. He's not even Nia.
he is a Neo, but very few people are Neo. Neo might be a lottery pick.
I agree, but we would listen. I'm just saying, let's talk about the way we were talking about young Bogues. We were talking about Bogues as if he was Neo, and no one knew Neo existed. And now we've had to watch both play. Everybody wants to watch Neo. Bogobots can come off the bench. Like we don't need Bogobots in the starting lineup.
I mean, we do while Seth is gone.
Yeah. Well, listen, Seth, get well soon, brother. Because get well soon, brother, because we need to make some lineup adjustments.
Hey, Bogey, my guy Bogey made five or more threes in 6 games last year in the ABA.
I want to point out, you said 6 threes, not five. We've already
Two.
had to, we've already had to lower our number.
Also, this is incredible looking at his opponents. The first game that SC Derby played last year was against
What,
Spartak Office Shoes.
what was the name of that team he played for?
SC Derby
Got it.
in the ABA.
That's
Yeah,
a
they're.
soccer team.
You think it's a soccer club derby?
That's a soccer team. I watched the Prem. They play in the Carabao Cup.
Well, FC. I mean, FC Barcelona is a soccer team too, and that's also a
Different.
basketball team.
That's different. That's different. That's different. That's Messi's soccer team. That's way different. I could name one player that's on SC Derby.
Well, they also played it, but you don't think it's funny they played an opponent called the Spartak Office Shoes?
I don't. I mean, it is funny. It's also not surprising because they play in the ABA.
Respect my ABA. Let's close with some predictions on this one.
I will say this last thing on the ABA. I make all these jokes respectfully. Caleb Wilson played like Peterson Elementary School last year, so like
Facts. Yes.
it's not like AJ DeBonta going up against Utah Valley Middle School was any better than the dudes Bogobots was playing.
All right, let's close with some predictions on this one. Carolina is favored by, I believe, 30 per Kim Palmer, 31. Uh, I've said it. I've said it with Bogovac. I think it's true for the whole team. I think this is the game where the threes start to fall and they make probably 12 of them as a team, hopefully at like a 38, 39% clip. I think you get some good Derek Dixon minutes as well and see him get more comfortable. I think Carolina wins. I'm going to say they win like 105 to 59.
I think Carolina wins by a lot. I don't think they cover the 30 though, but I think it's like a comfortable 25 point lead, like a wire to wire, like you just didn't cover because you guys just stopped trying type of thing. Um, but I think it's like a pretty comfortable game for Carolina. I think most games are going to be pretty comfortable for Carolina this year. Like when you look at their schedule, there's probably like a handful that I'm like super, super nervous about.
Hmm.
Um, It's a really good team. Part of the reason I don't think they're going to cover. I just Trimble was the shooter. Um, he's not on like playing. Bogots cannot shoot because he had five threes against like whoever that was once, and going up against Office Jeans, and he hit for 40. Um, like it's just they just. I think they're still figuring out what the team looks like without Trimble.
Hmm.
I think they're still going to be figuring out what the team looks like without Trimble in this game, with all due respect. And I just think it's going to take a second. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think Central's really bad and really struggling to where I think Carolina is going to roll and roll big. But we'll be back breaking it down afterwards, and you will get a apology from Dion firsthand after Bogovac goes for 30.
Two things. I will not apologize because the kid that hit against Office Paper for 35 also hit Central Carolina for 35.
North Carolina Central, respect the historic, the well, one of the great HBCUs in our country.
Got it. Central Charlotte University.
All right, we'll be back.